He's the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, He's Thad Matta back on the show. You expect to get to the Final Four, Coach?
I thought we had a shot. As you look back at your basketball team, and I think I bet a majority of the coaches do this, you look at all the good, and you're constantly trying to figure out how you can get that play consistently. And this team had shown, even back in November, that it had the potential to play at a high level. And we've been through some ups and downs throughout the course of the season, but the thing we always say is we want to be playing our best basketball at the end of the year, and I think we are.
If you look at the tape, the last time you played Kansas, of course, you weren't fully equipped with Sullinger not there. But what tape would teach you more, that one or what Kansas did against North Carolina?
I think probably Kansas versus North Carolina. We were a little bit disheveled from a standpoint of, we had tried to put some different things in that were, not running now. We were in a makeshift mode there because Jared is such a focal point of what we're doing. And, really probably the games they've played in the NCAA tournament are the ones we'll look at the most. But, we can look at Kansas and what they tried to do to us and, know that they're going to probably do that again.
When Sullinger comes back, as a coach, you probably go, come on in, welcome to have you back, big hug. But is there part of you also that says, is he doing what's right for him or his NBA future? And what part can you separate being a head coach and also being realistic of what he's risking or what the reward is?
Well, I think that's the one thing, Dan, that I always do this with every player. We're going to keep their best interest in mind. And my approach to coaching is this isn't about me, it's about the kids. And, I had that conversation with Jared and his family and said, hey, look, we're not going to rush this thing. When you feel right, you come back. But, I'm not going to call you every day and say, hey, you're ready. And to Jared's credit, I think he appreciated us taking that approach. And he knows we have his best interest in mind.
How tough is it coaching now as opposed to 10 years ago with who you recruit and how long they're going to stay?
It's definitely a challenge. I mean, there's no doubt about that. The tide has definitely turned, and it just, what it does is it takes away stability. And as a coach, you used to be able to sit down and say, in 2 years we're going to be this, in 3 years we're going to be this, and now you're saying, hey, let's just coach each team every day, get the most out of them, and when it's all done, we'll kind of look and see where we are and what we got, and then we'll go forward from there.
But it's hard. Calipari at least embraced it. He just said, look, you're one and done, and all right, you're one and done, and for the most part, but that's what I'm recruiting. Would you rather have a one and done who had that talent or somebody who would stay for, let's say, 3 years?
Well, the thing I've always said, Dan, is I'll do the one and dones. I'm okay with that as long as they have both feet in while they're here. And the one and done that halfway through the season starts thinking about the next level. I don't want to coach those guys. I'd rather have the guys, and we've been very fortunate with the guys we've lost here that have kind of embraced that and done a great job with it.
He's Thad Matta, Ohio State head coach. Kansas coming up next in New Orleans. We will beat Kansas if what?
We make shots and they don't. No, I think this. It should be a heck of a basketball game. I mean, they're obviously playing at a high level. Coach Self has done a tremendous job with that basketball team. We're going to have to take care of the basketball. We've got to execute on offense, and then defensively, we got to try to make it as difficult as we can in terms of all the great players they have. Guys that have the capability of having a big night. We just got to make them take tough shots and then rebound the ball. They're offensively rebounding at a high level right now.
Yeah, how about somebody boxes out in college basketball, Coach? It is such a lost art. This is Carolina, and I'm watching Kansas just storm the boards, and I'm going, does anybody put a body on anybody anymore?
I tell you, it is amazing, how over time the fundamentals have been lost, and that's something we're going to have to do a great job of on Saturday night.
Your role with Greg Oden now, since brief stay at Ohio State, but obviously with what he's gone through at Portland, how much do you stay in touch with him, and how much of that is your role?
Yeah, we talk. The biggest thing I want for Greg, and I try to tell him this is stay as positive as you can. I mean, I know that there's nobody hurting more than he is. I remember when the day he told me he was going to leave, and he says, "Coach, I want to be a great player in the NBA." And people forget that young man led us to the national championship game with, in essence, one hand.
Yeah.
And but my thing is for Greg is just trying to get healthy and keep a great attitude through it all.
When do you go to New Orleans?
Leaving Wednesday.
Are you allowed to have fun?
I would say this, Dan. I'm going to because momentarily, I should say. But a couple years ago, when or 5, 6, 7 years ago when we went, when the final horn sounded, I looked around. I'm like, now what just happened? I didn't even understand that we had played for the national championship in the Final Four. And I'm going to take 5, if it's 5 minutes, take a deep breath and soak it all in. Well,
just walk down Bourbon Street. And maybe throw some beads or something like that, Coach. Have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to try. That's something I would definitely like to do. But the great thing is, many years ago when I was assistant, I did that, and I like the position I'm in this time.
Safe travels. Have fun. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thank you, Dan.
Thad Matta, the Ohio State basketball coach. Got Kansas coming up.